Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Mike Lynch and Repo Rod.
You know, when I know these guys like Pee Wee, I've known Pee Wee personally for a long time, man. And when he told me, well, do you guys think, I said, well, look, if you made a mistake or you misspoke when these things, when you're under the gun, I do the same thing. You know, I was at Bill's house and I was throwing the microphone all over the walls and I didn't know. You know, I kept fighting, and every time I get upset, I tear that shit off, because it's hard to swallow and relive that crap.
Yep.
It really is, And I think Mooch or somebody else put on there the other day. He goes, it's a small consolation, but when we do get things right and in perspective what really went on, it gives you 5 minutes of at least people know that I'm not a culprit and I'm not an enemy in my club. I don't dislike my club and I don't say anything on here that disparages my club, but there are individuals in this club that are hiding behind this to do this, and that's a fact. It's not a rumor. It's a fact.
Oh,
and if we get enough of guys together, I mean, look at how many guys we got now in the B4L and all that stuff.
Over 200.
And they're not liars.
Nope.
Now, there is a couple that stepped on their dick, and I heard about it. I'm not going to take it out on him because he's already suffered enough. I'm out. What does it matter to me? But there's a lot of us that didn't do anything to deserve the treatment we got, making up stories about us. We're out bad, where we did this, we did crimes against our club. When I prospected for almost 6 years because I wanted my own charter in California. Okay. Then the other 11 years I put in as a member. So now I got 17 years time in this thing. And you just treated me like a piece of dog shit. I mean, you threw me out faster. And what? Yeah, somebody got saved their ass. And okay, more power to you, I guess. I thought by now somebody would catch on, but they hadn't. And even with those tapes being played, they did not get pushed to the end. Once you open up that can of worms and you start pushing, you better get in there and finish. Don't poke somebody. Don't give them a bleeder. I want that motherfucker to be leaked. You know what I mean?
I mean, this is the mic drop situation right here, I think.
He opened up the whole can of worms on himself the other day when he did that.
And like I said, I felt it be my obligation. I said, and then secondly, I said, Rod and I are going to work on something that has nothing to do with anything but us talking about our experiences. It isn't about anybody or everybody that's not what we're doing here. This ain't a tattletale, rumor, hearsay. That's not why we're doing it. We're doing something else to let people know how it is on different parts of the world, how we seen it. And I said, if I'm going to work with him, but when I saw your deal, I said, I got to watch that again, and then I listened to it and I said, man, this dude ain't happy. And at the very end, I loved it.
I did not sleep that night. I was out there on that goddamn beach. It was like 12 freaking degrees. I was burning up. I was sweating. I was so mad.
Hey, but at the end, you said, hey, motherfucker. Then I said, well, I guess he means what he means, But I called Bill right away, and I said he's upset, and it sounds like he's got a subject matter to talk about that involved the same member that I had. So these things and this and that, it needs to stop. Guys like him shouldn't become filthy rich and buying all these bikes and going to all these vacations. And, the part about your history of the club, okay, in the 80s, 90s. I give that to you. I don't say nothing about that because you are 100% accurate, and you're probably one of the best persons to present that. Okay. But now we're getting to the point where you're running out of material, and I don't like naming names. If I did something with you, am I supposed to say, hey, well, me and Rod was out here at 8:00 at night on December 13th, and we shot a couple motherfuckers out the window. You know what I mean? Why is that okay?
He has absolutely ran out of credible content that he has not used before.
Yes.
So now it's hearsay and fictitious and not truthful, and he's lost all credibility.
And he was a member. He was a member when Tommy died. Did you see George?
No, he wasn't there. He was not there.
He might have sent a couple of guys there because I went with a lot of California guys.
Yep.
A lot. And it was snowing like a mother.
Oh, cold.
Oh, it was like, man, I'm telling you.
It was, and Bill, you might have to edit this. It was 0 degrees out. Oh my God, it was cold.
And this guy's from California. We left somebody that we're leaving. It's 110. We get out there, and I'm in my Carhartt and my sneakers, and I got me I probably got a jacket on and my pats, and I'm going
10 below and 40-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah, but I mean, being as I had spoke with him on numerous occasions, I used to have to go to the OMs out there and get information, and then when there was question about funding, I would go out there personally, because John JC being a man, I argued with him a few times because he wasn't about to let anything go. I want to know, explain it to me and explain it. And I mean, by the time I got done with him, I wanted to crawl off in some, but I was thorough and he was satisfied. And that's what I cared about most. I said, okay, but.
Well, we could do this 10 more times.
Yeah, we all got stories that we could tell, or we'd rather not tell. And I'd rather, I don't like names and I don't like places. And it's not because of anything, but somebody will take that little tidbit and turn it into something else. And now I have to answer for that too. Nah. You listen to this if you want to. If you don't like what I have to say, turn me the fuck off.
Start your own
telling you, I'm reaching out because something transpired that wasn't right. And a lot of us, like you said, were sacrificial lambs.
Yep.
And it wasn't for the club, it was for individuals. And that's something that we don't do that. We don't.
And it doesn't matter east or west. It goes on both sides like that.
We all know that. We know that we've had a few mistakes. And like I'll raise my hand. Hey, I had when that shit happened to me and I lost my membership, it fucked me up. For a while there. And I started taking painkillers and drinking beer. And I think that Bill even asked me, and I go, well, that was the self-medication was not the right way to take care of my brow. I should have went to a senior member, explained it all to them and said, give me a recommendation on what to do. Because all I'm doing is pissing and moaning and hating everybody. I had so much hate in me. It just, and you don't hate the whole, we hate a couple motherfuckers. That we're selfish,
Well, we'll do this again. Yeah, we'll do this again. I really appreciate you guys taking the time.
Don't that. We got to get Red Bull. Gonna go sneak off a Red Bull, snort that shit. I told this motherfucker when I was out there, if I catch him again drinking that. Now, let me tell you something, Bill, just not that it has anything to do with us, but my old lady's son-in-law, okay, He's in the hospital right now. He just got released. His deal is he lives on them, right? And he's in a high stress job, right? Well, his appendix broke open, and when they opened him up, he had all kind of abscesses and all this shit in him. They had to go out there. They had to remove some of his colon. They had to remove his gallbladder, and then they had to get all these abscesses that were in there from that shit, and they had to cut it out of him. Yeah. And this guy's in his 40s.
Damn.
Yeah.
How long has he been drinking it for?
It's a habit with him because he's high. He's like one of them super employees, you know?
Yeah.
But
Billy, I had a buddy, 37 years old, drink 5 of them big Red Bulls a day, standing in front of me, talking to me. Dropped cold, dead.
There ain't nothing failing.
Apart.
I told him I put my size 11 straight up.
I know. I got
stop drinking that crap.
I've been cutting back, man. I only drink a little bit.
I don't want to hear cut back. Stop. Cut it off.
I like it already. Hey, he's closer to you than me, so
I'm really gonna consider quitting.
But he might hit you with both feet. Now you got a size 22 up your.
Yeah.
So listen,
all right, Ron, it's great I'm glad to meet you, and I mean we're gonna be talking because we have thing going.
Fallen Angels, the documentary is coming out soon. Stay tuned. Thank you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Your mother, your sister, your brother.
Every time they drop. Tell your mother's brother, sister's friend about Chatting with Staxx, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. If you don't like this show, too bad. Start your own podcast.
Yeah. Out. Hey, Mike behind the mic.